On October 14th, the man affectionately known as the Gambler returns to St. Pete to perform at the beautiful Mahaffey Theater. Kenny Rogers has sold more than 120 million records worldwide, recorded more than 65 albums, and his long list of timeless classics includes an impressive 24 number one hits. Two of his albums, The Gambler and Kenny, are featured in the About.com poll of the 200 most influential country albums ever. And his greatest hits album has sold over 20 million copies. In fact, 24 million copies worldwide to date. He is the 8th best-selling male artist of all time, with 1 diamond album, 19 platinum albums, 31 gold albums, and he has, of course, received numerous awards for his music and charity work, Grammys, People's Choice Awards, and the like. Let me ask you, Kenny, with enormous success like that, how do you manage to stay grounded?
Well, it costs a lot of money to buy all those records. That's all I can tell you. But I bought most of them. But, for me, this has been a job of joy since the day, my mom told me when I was a kid, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I think that's so true. To me, how can you not accept this graciously and say, thank you, God, for what you've given me? Because it is a wonderful gift for me to be able to go out on the stage and sing songs every night and hopefully make people happy. And the good news is I do about 18 or 19 hits in the show. And particularly when I come your way, I have identical twin boys that are 7 years old, and I think they're coming with me. So stand back. It could be a whole new world.
Oh, that sounds great. What sage advice from your mom. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and think, this has all been a dream?
I wake up in the middle of the night and worry that it's been a dream. No, I've worked very hard. At the same time, I'm doing an autobiography right now, and one of the interesting things that I'm finding is how I got from point A to point B, because it wasn't a real linear line. I started off with a doo-wop group in high school, and then I went to an avant-garde jazz group for 10 years. And then from there, I went to the New Christie Minstrels, from the Christies to the First Edition, and the First Edition to country music. So the question is, how do you get to jazz in the first place? How do you get from jazz to folk music, of all things, and from folk music to country rock? And that's what I think makes this book so interesting, is the journey. So I think I'm a country singer who's had a lot of other musical influences, which allows me to do a bigger variety of music than maybe a lot of guys.
Well, you've hit about every musical genre there is. I think about your... I think about your 24 gold records. That may be more than that now, but the number I have is 24, which is incredible. And I think, wow, there's enough gold hanging on this guy's wall to fund my retirement. Let's talk about your new gospel album, The Love of God. It's received critical acclaim. Is this your first venture into gospel?
It is. People have been asking me to do it for years, and I have this thing about proselytizing. It's hard for me to do. My faith is my faith, and I don't expect anyone else to believe or feel what I feel. But Cracker Barrel is a place, it's a restaurant. Do you have them where you are?
We sure do.
Okay. Well, they, more than anybody I've ever seen, know their audience. They know who walks in that door, and they know how to sell to them. They know what they want. So when they asked me to do this, and it was audience-specific, I felt very comfortable doing it. And what I thought made it interesting is I went back, my mom and dad. My mom was very religious, and we would go to church 3 times a week with her. And all the old songs, I'll Fly Away, my dad was a fiddle player, and he played with all his brothers and sisters, and he played songs like that. Let the Circle Be Unbroken, he played that, and my mom would sing Amazing Grace. And so those are songs I was raised on. That's part of who I am and how I got to be where I am. And then we took some of the new stuff that was out there, Michael McDonald, Michael W. Smith, The Point of Grace, people like that, and added some new songs to the album so it would have a variety. It wouldn't be all old stuff, and it wouldn't be all new stuff. And I just think it's a great collection of music. And interestingly enough, I don't think it's a religious album. I think it's an inspirational album. The songs make you feel better, and that's what they were designed to do.
We should mention that you also have a new retrospective CD out that covers, the last 50 years?
Yeah, that's easy to do, isn't it?
Well, for you it is.
It was great fun, and we did that TV show. And, I've made a lot of friends in this business, but the problem is, when you think about it, you don't really get to spend any time with your friends. I mean, Dolly and Lionel and all those guys, they have their own pyramids, and they're running around the world working. I have mine, and those pyramids don't touch very often. So to be able to say, stop, slow down, come spend 2 days with me, and let's do this television show and have them come and we could sit down and talk. That was my reward. The reward for the audience is all these people, Alison Krauss and Dolly singing Sweet Music Man, Smokey Robinson, Winona Judd, Tim McGraw, Darius Rucker. It was just a phenomenal group of people, and they all sang songs I had recorded in the last 50 years and put their interpretations on them. I thought it was just interesting.
When do you sleep?
I don't much now with the boys. No, but I do believe in getting your rest, but I have a lot of projects going. When I wake up in the morning, my day is full, but it's full with things I wanted to fill it with.
Well, I guess retiring's out of the question, huh?
I think so. Well, I read an article a long time ago that said the average man lives 2 years after retirement because they have no purpose in life. So I'm going to keep a purpose. I asked George Burns once, how do you keep working at 104? And he said, stay booked.
I love it.
That was great advice.
It is great advice. Well, we're certainly glad that you love what you do because we sure love what you do. Let's talk about your upcoming concert on October 14th here at the Mahaffey Theater in St. Pete. What do you have planned for us?
Well, I'm due about 19 hits, as a matter of fact. And the thing I learned a long time ago is that people will clap to be nice, but they will not laugh to be nice. So if people are laughing throughout your show, I think you can pretty much assume they're having a good time. So, my theory is even people who don't like the music, who came with someone else, if I can make them laugh, it'll be an enjoyable evening. It's not important to me that any one person leaves saying he's the best singer I've ever heard. But it is important to me that everybody leaves saying, I enjoyed that.
Well, I want to tell you that, you accomplished that last year. My wife saw your Christmas show last year, and she said, you be sure and tell him how much I enjoyed it.
Oh, that's so nice. We're about to start ramping that up again. We started Thanksgiving, right after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, and it's about 30 days almost straight in a row. I don't know whether we're coming your way again or not this year. Usually we skip a year when we do this. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Oh, my.
And it's a great variation for me to do Christmas songs. I do hits the first half, have Billy Dean out with me, and he does some music, and I do some music. And then we do about 45 minutes of strictly Christmas music.
Well, I know that a lot of people, when you ask them what their favorite song of the many that they've had, they say, they're like my kids. I can't pick one. Let me ask you that question. Of all the hits, let's just narrow it down to the 24 gold records you have. Which one, if you can tell me?
And maybe because I haven't done it as much and as often, but I've started doing We've Got Tonight, the duet I did with Sheena Easton, and I just love singing it. So I think there's a great deal. The rest of the songs, to some extent, you do obligatorily. You do them because people expect them, and I think they have a right to expect them. And I do love each and every one of them. But this We've Got Tonight, I haven't been doing it that long, and it's really refreshing to me to do that. So,
well, we've got you covered. We play it here, along with Islands in the Stream and the one with Kim Carnes.
Oh, yeah. Don't Fall in Love with the Dreamer.
Yeah.
And I'm doing Love the World Away now, which I haven't done in a long time. I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was.
Oh, yeah. The edition.
So there's a lot of variation in there, first editions.
Kenny, you've had so many highs over your illustrious career, and I'm talking about natural highs now. What is it that gives you the most joy at this point in life?
Well, I think my boys, my sons are 7, and they are truly, I can't, they say that having kids at my age either make you or break you, and right now I'm leaning heavily toward break. But
I
I
can
mean, it's
understand
just
that.
such a joy. Every day you wake up, I'm just totally amazed how last year they couldn't read at all. Now they're reading books and doing math all within 1 year. They're writing. It's just that knowledge thing is so cool. And to do homework with them, I'm hoping I'm creating memories for them when I'm gone.
You know, you come across as just a regular guy.
Well, I like to think I am. I think I am a guy. This whole autobiography I'm writing is, we're at one point the working title was Luck or something like it, because how I got from one stage from a jazz group to the New Christian Minstrels is really interesting. How I got from the New Christian Minstrels to the first edition is really interesting. And how I got from there to country music is really interesting. So that's kind of what I'm writing about. It's nothing special. It's hard work, good instinct, and great music.
When can we expect to see that?
It was supposed to have been the fall of this year, but because now I'm typing it myself, we're looking at spring of next year. So I think that's kind of where the goal is.
You type the way I do. I've got to
Yeah.
ask you this, Kenny, as a product of Texas. I think you were born in Houston.
I was.
Any thoughts on the playoff series between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Texas Rangers that get underway today as we tape?
Well, let me see which way I would go. Let me think about this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, I haven't followed a great deal of it, but if it's got Texas in the title, they're my team.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. If Texas wins, I'll send you a crate of oranges. And if Tampa Bay wins, you send me one of your gold records. How's that?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Got to do that.
Kenny Rogers, you have been a delight, sir, and we eagerly await your performance on Friday, October 14th, 8 o'clock at the Mahaffey Theater here in St. Pete.
Well, thanks for your time, and if you get a chance to come by and say hello, please do.
By all means. Thank you, Kenny.
Thanks, Dick.